Hello YouTube, this is Princess Ozeline, she, her pronouns. For a while now I've been wanting to sort of get into content creation, make some fun videos, do some media analysis, do some gaming stuff. I do stream over on Twitch and I'm trying to get more regular about it. And I do have some ideas for a lot of different projects, both on YouTube and not, that are more involved. But I saw an interesting video by Kaiser Da Gaemer, and I thought I'd come up with a really quick response to it. And it was all about this character that you see behind me in Dead by Daylight, Sable Ward. This is me playing a game with her just about half an hour ago. And Kaiser's video, they were talking about how a lot of people hate this character. And also how a lot of people love this character. And talking about the reasons why the former camp, the haters, have for hating her. And there were a few different reasons, and I thought they were pretty interesting, so I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. One is that she's sort of inserted into the existing lore of one of the earlier characters, Michaela. Like, Michaela's friends are mentioned, Sable is not one of them, and Sable just sort of comes out of nowhere. Kaiser, they're not interested so much in DVD's lore. They don't particularly care for it. I do. I think it's interesting. I liked the casting of Frank Stone. In fact, I have a video that I'm kind of working on about that. I know that is also a controversial take in DVD. But I don't see a problem there. With them being a new addition to Michaela's lore. I'll look at her lore in a little bit. But I never had a huge problem with the whole, oh, this is the character's cousin or even their brother that we've never heard of before. To me, that's not a huge issue. We don't know everything about a person's lives, even their closest things. There's no reason why even in a TV series they might not have had a reason to bring up their family or such in a TV show. And even if it is a little bit of a gap, if the story is good, then I'd rather have the new story than be locked into something just because it hasn't been set up before. So I do very much enjoy continuity, but there are sort of limits there. Now, other reasons are that she has too many cosmetics. She's a new character. She's got too many cosmetics. Okay, that can be annoying, and not really a reason to hate her, but that can be a reason why if your fave is being neglected. I'm a Meg Thomas main, so I've got lots of cosmetics from, and I've got a few that I'm happy with. I don't need to have all the cosmetics, so that doesn't bother me. But I can understand why it would be annoying, at least, but not a real reason to hate the character, in my opinion. Another reason is she's just created for sex appeal, and and again, this is another thing Kaiser mentions. She's not really that overtly sexualized. Certainly, there are other characters. Sable does have a bikini top cosmetic, but so do other characters. She just fits into an archetype that a lot of people find attractive and sort of seems to be in vogue now, and that's the goth girl. I've got her a little more a gothy version of Jerica from Gem and the Holograms here, which is awesome. Love Gem. With this cosmetic that I've got on. But okay, just a second. But yeah, the more interesting reason they brought up, which is not something I knew about until now because I don't follow the production of Dead by Daylight all that closely. I do know some things. I do sometimes watch interviews with Matthew Cote, but I'm not super invested in that side of things. Her concept designer has some worrying stuff on social media in regards to transphobia. So that's oh, second on the wrong layer there. Okay, there we go. They follow libs of TikTok, which is an automatic red flag for me. And apparently they shared a transphobic meme. At some point, Kaiser wasn't able to reproduce this, but I do trust that they did see this. And even if they didn't, even if their memory is not correct on that, which it is hearsay, but I do somewhat trust the source. I mean, I do trust the source, and I don't think they would intentionally mislead on that. So at the very least, Kaiser believes that this happened. It would not surprise me. But as a trans woman, there are much bigger fish to fry than this guy. Like, I would not personally want, just on basis of being a follower of libs of TikTok, I would have serious reservations about working with him in any capacity myself. But I can't really demand that everyone at a company, from concept artist down, be a good person, or a person that I would care to engage with. If it's someone like the lead creator, the director of a project, the writer of a project, or someone who or like a novelist. Let's say there was a novelist who had a huge platform and was platforming transphobia. Then I would definitely be not want anything to do with anything that she worked on, and say there was a video game based on her works, which also had some very worrying things from, in terms of possible anti-Semitic messaging, and in addition to transphobia, then I would not play. But that's just a little hypothetical there. Would I prefer that all the artists, were either marginalized people, or at least people that agree with my values, and like, do not see my own personal existence as something to be up for debate? Of course, I would much rather see these communities represented, and I would much rather our, at our very least, our allies we have work, and of course that goes for BIPOC people, Muslim creators, Jewish creators, especially people like Palestinian creators at this juncture. All of that stuff. Would much rather see that than some random seemingly white person who also, and I am a white person, so just so you know. But I would much rather have someone who I can respect do all the art. But that's not realistic, and there's much bigger fish to fry. And that's the main reason why I wanted to create this video. Because I mean, if that is your big objection to Sable, it's a work for hire project. It, Sebastian's is a good artist from everything I've seen. They have the really nice Bochi the Rock fan art I saw on their page, and if I didn't know anything about them, which I didn't until now, I would think their art was pretty cool, and their art is still pretty cool. But I'd rather support someone else myself. But there's much more concerning things potentially coming to Dead by Daylight, like the leak of the potential killer. Like the rumors that there's a killer who is a slave catcher. Um, that seems like a really bad idea given the history of griefing that's gone on in Dead by Daylight. I hope that rumor is false or exaggerated. You should always check out what Black creatives have to say about things like that. But at the top of my head, that does not seem like it would be a good thing. But there are bigger fish to fry than some artist who follows libs of TikTok, even if I do not appreciate them following libs of TikTok. You know what I mean? So that was the main thing I wanted to get off my chest. But since we're here, and I'm doing this sort of unscripted video, let's just take a look at Sable's lore, because it's hilarious. If you object to her being shoehorned into Michaela's backstory, I mean, it was done in the most hilarious, faux edgy, over the top way. Let's take a quick look at it. Oh, and there's the bikini top I was talking about. So let's go over to her bio. I'm going to switch it to the... I'm going to go back to the lobby. So yeah, this is how I've got her right now. With the pink and the reds, most of the pink hair. I'm like, she's more like a gothy Gem from Gem and the Holograms. All right, so Sable figured she had to be adopted. No way was she the progeny of her perky mom and grinning golf-playing frat boy of a dad. They didn't understand the first thing about her. No one in Greenville did, except Michaela. They were fast friends since 3rd grade, and up until then, Sable had no friends. She wasn't into ponies or dolls or tea parties with teddy bears. She liked bugs, lizards, riding bikes, and dirt-clawed fights. Her favorite holiday was Halloween, and Michaela was the only one who didn't think she was weird when she dyed her hair purple in the 8th grade. Sable's mom was furious. Her dad didn't even notice. Michaela went to... And yeah, so I'm not going to read the whole thing right now, although I do have a ball reading this. But it's hilarious. Like, yeah, okay, we never heard about her before. On one hand, it seems like Sable might be more into Michaela than Michaela is into her, and maybe that's why we didn't hear about it. On the other hand, this is just the most hilarious. Like, you talk about Warhammer 40K being satire. The not like the other girl, which I don't mind some not like the other girls. I'm neurodivergent. And trans. I'm not like the other girls. But, I understand the problem with the trope is that it represents a sort of homogeneity among the other girls, which is not necessarily the case. But, a little bit of a outsiderness is not a bad thing. But this is over the top to the point of being hilarious. Where was I? Okay, yeah. She flirted with the dark side, she being Michaela, but she didn't like it. Not like Sable. The dark side made sense to Sable, and she reveled in it, partly because it freaked out her parents and teachers, partly because it felt like who she was. Some called her a goth because of the way she presented herself, but she wasn't into labels. She loved horror movies and found the occult exciting. It made sense to her. She knew that the shiny suburban world of her mom and dad had a dark underbelly. They were afraid to confront their fear, so they pretended everything was perfect. And yeah, oh my god, this is hilarious. Like, just the lore, you know. It's nothing like amazingly deep or to write home about, but the characters are fun. Anyway, Michaela goes missing. Sable sort of figures out that she's in the entities realm. She finds out about the entities realm. Determined to see Michaela again, Sable hitched a ride to the theater and soon found the door behind the movie screen. In the darkness, she jimmied the door open with a crowbar and headed down a creaking wooden stairway to a dark cellar. A light switch activated flickering fluorescent lights that illuminated a room filled with broken theater seats and old movie posters dating back 80 years. She reached the sprawling basement and found a thick wooden door hidden behind a poster of the original Frankenstein. She pushed, and also Frankenstein for DVD confirmed that he was on the Universal Monsters version, was on the satisfaction survey. She pushed and shoved a door open to reveal an endless circular stairway descending into perfect darkness. Using a penlight to navigate, she descended for 10 more minutes before she noticed the cold, black fog rising from the lower depths. The same cold, black fog that had taken Michaela. Sable considered running back up the stairs to where she would be safe. But then she thought about terrifying creatures and sadistic killers and endless horror. And she quickly decided she wasn't going to let her best friend have all the fun. Like, it's hilarious. Anyway, Sable's fine. That's what I'm saying here. That's my opinion anyway. She's the hot flavor of the month. She is the most recent original character too, right? She's the most recent original survivor. Since then, we've had Laura Croft, and the troop, Astri, and whatever this guy's name is. So, and Trevor. So, you know, she's the new hotness, and obviously her cosmetics are selling well, which is why she gets so many of them. Be nice for some other characters to get some more, and I do understand that frustration. But as far as who did the art, I don't care. Bigger things to fry. Nice to have a different artist, I suppose. And I wouldn't want to work with them, but Sable's okay. Anyway, this was a completely unscripted video. If you want to come check me out on Twitch at Princess Ozaline. I usually am sort of in the late afternoon, early evening. If you're North American time zones, maybe a little earlier on the weekend. I'm going to try and be more consistent about streaming. I do Dead by Daylight. I do story-based games. My favorite series is Sakura Wars. But yeah. Yeah. This was my first sort of nervous energy, unscripted Dead by Daylight video. So I might do more. See you next time.